Okay, here we are. Thanks for your patience, everyone. That was interesting. Having a little trouble loading the live this morning. Good morning, Angela. And good evening, Maria, Frederick. Hello. Hi, Lynn. Lovely to see you all. So today's topic, health and healing and ascension symptoms, is something that I've been working with so many of my clients with for a number of years now, and increasingly so in the last several months, as so many of us are experiencing what is being termed as ascension symptoms. So what I understand about this phenomena is really kind of multifaceted, being that we are in unprecedented times on this planet and as a human species, in that we have almost like a nesting dolls syndrome, where there are a lot of timelines and cycles that are completing themselves all at the same juncture. These are cycles that are, larger cosmic cycles, solar cycles, the precession of the equinox cycles. And so the exciting part of this, of course, as we're all getting tuned into, is that this is a frequency upgrade for humanity. Some people have described it as an opportunity for us to reactivate parts of our DNA that have been dormant. Perhaps they were purposefully shut off so that we weren't as connected to the cosmos. I personally believe that earlier versions of our species have been very activated and connected to the cosmos. And through a variety of perhaps purposefully intended mechanisms, a lot of those connective activations have been shut down. So these shutdown turn-off mechanisms include different kinds of genetic manipulation, and some of that is triggered through substances in our environment. For example, in the Popol Vuh, which is an ancient Mayan mythology and story about our human origins, it was declared that in this version of humanity, the intention was to keep us more or less docile by spraying certain kind of chemical contents into our atmosphere, even thousands of years ago. So interestingly, we're really up with all of this now. We have science to explore, to actually look into the contents of our atmosphere and determine toxicity levels in plants, in water sources, in air, and so on. We also have scientific evidence to show us what's going on in our solar system, including massive frequency changes with our sun. And my understanding is that these events, the pole shifts and the solar events, solar flares and so on, happen relatively regularly or cyclically on this planet. And they create a whole variety of complex challenges for any organic living beings on this planet. So all that said, we are looking at tremendous phenomena that are in our environment. And then when you add the internal phenomena that affect us metaphysically through our emotional bodies and our etheric bodies, these include things like our own lifetime experiences of trauma in this life, past life trauma and karmic inheritances that we came in with different genetic dispositions that we came in with, some of which have, challenging aspects to them that are triggered from certain exterior, frequencies that trigger these challenges in our personal and genetic makeup. So this is both biological and emotional, metaphysical, and mental. And then we also have our ancestral histories that we carry in our DNA and in our physical bodies. So we carry these memories, we carry the gifts, and also the challenges on both a biological and a metaphysical level. So, wow, where do you even begin to sort all this out? And as I said, we have this phenomena going on now where a lot of these different external energies are coalescing at a rapid rate. So we are being challenged to evolve in this very rapid fashion. Now, for so many of you that are watching, this evolution, and I just want to make sure you're all on here because I don't see anything since I started chatting. So let me know that you're here and I'm live and you're getting tuned in. Great. So what we are being challenged to do is to continue to evolve at a fast enough pace. And so many of you are evolving in your perceptions, in your concepts, in your spiritual frequency. Your metaphysical frequency is adapting and evolving very quickly. On the other hand, our physical bodies often take a longer time to catch up to that process. So this is what I'm understanding as the metaphysical and physical challenge that we're experiencing right now, is to bring our physical bodies up to speed with this process. Now, I still don't see anyone on the chat. Oh, there we go. Yes, woohoo, love you. Hi, Mary Grace, Murray, Carmen. Hello, Anya. Beautiful to see you all. Yay. Okay. So what I would like to do is start off by looking at what Spirit, the divine creator, has to offer us in terms of guidance, support, and how to integrate all of these aspects that I just referred to in our physical experience, so that the Ascension symptoms, which can include everything from insomnia, headaches, heart palpitations, digestive disturbances, nausea, dizziness, by no means is this reference to be taken as medical authority. However, what I'm expressing here is that these symptoms have been reported by a lot of people to literally come and go randomly and to not be medically diagnosable. So that's the difference that I'm referring to. If you're experiencing any of these symptoms, I absolutely recommend that you get medical diagnosis as soon as possible to rule out something that can be immediately identified and responded to. However, I'm speaking more of the phenomena where people have been looking into medical diagnosis and treatments for these different symptoms, and they find that the symptoms just disappear, come back at random. So let's have a look at this. I'm going to tilt the screen down. You can observe as I shuffle the cards here. Make sure that, yeah, that's lovely. And so many people that I speak to, especially individuals who are on a path of spiritual evolution and activation, frequency activation, seem to be experiencing this phenomena more and more frequently. Let's have a look and see what Spirit wants us to know about this phenomena and how to work with it. Oh, interesting. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. Oh, I always love this so much because when I do these lives, even though I, think I know a thing or two about a thing or two with all of this stuff, I'm always surprised and amazed at what comes through, which is in such a way a tribute to all of you watching, because all of your guides are present here. I'm literally just translating the information that's coming through at this moment. So let's go through the reading card by card. This is us. We are Six of Pentacles, meaning, we're doing this for ourselves. This is the reciprocity, balanced. Do you see that scale there? Balanced giving and receiving, mutual aid, mutual support. So we are in this as individuals, but we are also, many of you, myself included, really concerned about everyone. We want this to change, not just for us personally, but for all of humanity, all living beings on this planet, to move into new earth, a beautiful frequency. So we begin by recognizing that this is on behalf of so many, and this has gone outside of the personal into the transpersonal. Lovely. All right. Now, interesting. The overall answer to this question, what does Spirit want us to know about these ascension symptoms and this rapid evolutionary process? This card, the Tower, I know it's a little bit anxiety producing for a lot of you, but there's a hidden message in this card that I believe is what's being revealed here right now. What I like to say about the Tower is change is a beautiful natural thing, and it does provide growth and new opportunity. You see the lightning bolt striking the Tower that is comprised of a really rigid system, no flexibility in it. And this lightning bolt literally topples the crown of, I want to say like complacency right off of there. And it starts to activate change in this very rigid system. This is happening suddenly in a way, and yet the system has been for a really long time getting more and more rigid. And what I'm being shown as well, you see when lightning strikes the ground, where it hits, it creates this bloom of growth. After a lightning storm, a thunderstorm, there's often, even after a lightning strike, when there's been a fire, there's often this surge of growth in a forest. And I'm being shown this almost like the frequency bolt or jolt that is breaking the calcification in our pineal gland. This can be through solar frequency, cosmic frequency, the uplifting energetic frequency of humanity's consciousness raising. So many of you are working on yourselves. You're working on developing your consciousness. You're doing this not just selfishly for your own ego purposes, but for the collective. Isn't this beautiful? What you want to know about the Tower, however, is that the suggestion is that we do the best we can to slow the change process down a little bit. Change, as I said, it's the speed in which change happens that creates a lot of the dis-ease. Interesting that we're going to be talking about healthy states and healing. A lot of the dis-ease happens because too much is going on all at once. So what we do have control over, we don't have control over all of these other pieces that I mentioned earlier very much, but we do have control over how much we draw in, how much we call in. So if you find yourself saying, I want to be an agent of change, I'm ready for everything to shift, I want the old system to crumble now, the more you draw this in, well, you're drawing in that lightning strike again and again and again. You're saying, bring it on, bring it on. I want rapid change. And then you're short of breath and you're feeling dizzy and you're having a hard time sleeping. And they're saying, we don't have to do this, first of all, alone. The sovereign independent in the recent past. We don't have to do this alone. It would be really great for us to work on this together and I always like to say, it's like driving a vehicle. There's the vehicle card. You press the gas when you're saying, okay, I'm feeling all right. Let's go a little bit faster, call in a little bit more. But then if it starts to come too heavily, press the brake a little, slow things down. You're still going to get there. We're all going to get there. And we don't want to be broken down when we get there. We want to be intact, which means we need to go at a pace that works for our physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and psychological bodies. And that pace, look at this beautiful temperance card in the middle. This is the slowing things down, perfect divine timing. So let's imagine just for a moment that if you're experiencing these symptoms, it's possible you may have been drawing in the change too rapidly. Perhaps you're reading all kinds of stuff that's really potent and beautiful, but you're inundating your psyche with this. Perhaps you're just pouring the data in because there's underlying a fear that if we don't hurry up and change this, we're doomed. You see, this is what's at the bottom of this, everybody. What's at the bottom of this is that we feel still somewhat, victimized by the circumstances. And we're like, we've got to bust through. Remember, I talked a couple of weeks ago about those bars. We're outside the cage now, but we still see the imaginary bars. And we're like, oh my gosh, I've got to break those bars right now. Like, hurry up, make it happen. And what the guides are saying is, again, as I said before, relax and just come back into your own state of harmony and balance. We can talk in a little bit here when we look at health and healing about different ways you can achieve that. And, if you need to slow it down for several days, several weeks, several months, even if you need to pause for a year or two or more during all of this change and say, I can't do it anymore. I'm just trying too hard. I'm taking on so much and it's just blasting me. The beautiful thing is, everyone, you're not alone. You're not alone. No one is expecting or demanding that you're going to do this on behalf of all of us and that you can't take a day off or a week off or a month off or even a year off. And there's not going to be so many more of us picking up that energy because your greatest value to this overall experience, this beautiful harmonic experience of new earth, the beautiful mutual aid of humanity, is that we are doing it together. And it's okay to take some time off. Isn't this just so beautiful? I love how Spirit communicates all of this. So we have in the advice, the strength is in the long, sustainable journey. It isn't in how fast we go. It's that we all, cross that finish line at some point. And as I said, coming out of this feeling that it has to be really fast and that you've got to do it now or never, and that you're responsible for all of us. Well, let's just spread that out and feel the strength of all of us together on this same mission. I can say this with a degree of confidence because so many of you, hello, Laura and Carmen, Jean, Valerie, so many of you have come to me for readings over the last few years, and I have been just blown away by the degree of beautiful devotion, integrity, capability, vision, deep, purposeful work on personal healing on every level to share that with everyone. It's just phenomenal. If you feel you are alone in this, you are not alone. And therefore, we are sort of buckling in here for the long journey, which means take the time, take the downtime, walk away, absolutely walk away. I've taught dance for years. And interestingly, people have this need to practice regularly when they're learning a new choreography or when they're learning some new technical moves in a particular dance form. And what I've noticed over the years, and I've always supported my students in being aware of, is that often we will work on something, we will work on learning something, and our body is not getting it. And if we literally walk away, sometimes even for months, don't practice at all, and then we come back, the most extraordinary phenomena is all of a sudden we can do this thing and we didn't practice. So this is exactly the same thing. This is, when you need to step off the intensive of all of this, which in a way, the message here is let's all step off the intensive because we're actually going to go further, stronger. Again, it's almost that work smarter, not harder. We're going to do a better job if we all care for ourselves in this way. So this is a lot of knowing, inner knowing. Look at the outcome of this. The sun. The sun is the outcome. So there's a lot of inner knowing. If you can visualize the ideal and then you get back into where you are. I love Joe Dispenza's teaching about this, this becoming supernatural and exploring. Here you are with all of these symptoms and all of these challenges. And then you're imagining this other version of yourself. And it seems like night and day. And you think, this is just fantasy. How am I ever going to go from where I am now to that being? And the great mystery is that we really don't know. But the most extraordinary results that defy logic, the results that are more exponential, where we continue to work on this, the vehicle of, going at our own pace, monitoring ourselves regularly. If we're having symptoms, this is a beautiful thing. It's our own inner guidance saying, whoa, slow down, take some breaths, find your balance, do whatever it takes. There's no rush. We're all waiting. We're all trusting. Oh my goodness. And then we are going to be the doctors of the future. We're going to be the medicine healers of the future. We, through learning how to work with this ascension phenomena that I was describing, and over the long term, becoming stronger, healthier, clearer, the pineal gland being cleared of its calcification, not instantly, but in a beautiful, gradual, gentle way, perfect timing, we have the potential to be that, whatever it is, 100th monkey, 10%, that helps to create the pathways for others to follow in the years, the months, even the decades to come. So I like it. What are y'all feeling about it? Yes. Beautiful. Resetting the vibration. Yes. Harmony over balance. Balance feels like walking a tightrope, whereas harmony feels like beautiful, beneficial blending. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Grammy Mary, for that. This is a great segue into the next topic, which is health and healing. So similar to health and healing, I feel like balance and harmony have a similar frequency resonance. And let me explain what I mean by that. What I've been working on understanding over the last few years, and increasingly so in the last few months, as a result of all of the beautiful work that I've been sharing with you, my viewers, followers, and clients, is that we think of health as something that we are working to achieve, like a state that is the ideal state. And when we have symptoms, we realize, oh, we're out of that ideal state, and our job is to get back into that ideal state and stay there. Similar to balance, get back into balance. And once we're in balance, as you were saying, we're like, don't breathe, don't move. Like, okay, I think I can hold it for a little bit. Oh no, something's happening. And now I'm back into imbalance or dis-ease in the case of health. So years ago, this was explained to me. I'm trying to remember where it was that I first, yes, I was studying a type of counseling called process-oriented counseling therapy. And it's a very somatic, body-centered type of counseling. And in that, they have a perspective around this exact phenomena, around health and healing. And the belief is that just like the state of enlightenment is not a permanent state, it's not like, when we see ascended masters, Christ consciousness, these enlightened beings, and we think, oh, they got there. Wow, I would love to get there. And wouldn't it be amazing? We could just kick back once we're there and relax, and no more effort needed to get to the state of enlightenment or to the state of health. We earned it. We did the work and we're there, and great. Now we get to relax and celebrate. Well, interestingly, what I've been shown both through the process work and through my understanding metaphysically around this term of enlightenment is that we actually resonate in that frequency of health or enlightenment. And it is literally a frequency that shifts moment to moment. So Christ consciousness, the Buddha, these enlightened masters, how they were able to sustain that state is that they had regular practices. They didn't earn their state and then they didn't have to do anything. They actually were fierce practitioners. Like they were in a state of practicing enlightenment moment to moment. So what does that say to us about health? It's very similar. there is no ultimate state of health. If you think about it in terms of what's going on in our bodies all the time, what's going on in our atmosphere, in our thoughts, our psyche, our relational experiences, the foods we eat, the air we breathe, everything that's around us, it's a constant changing milieu of experience. So for us to say, okay, I'm healthy, great, now just chill, it's a little bit naive, because guess what? The next moment, there's going to be something shifting. If you're in having an experience of an absence of what you would call dis-ease, you can pretty much be guaranteed that in some part of your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual body, there's change happening that's going to begin to move you back into a state of, what we said about balance, what we would term as imbalance. But we only call it imbalance if we're focusing on balance instead of harmony. We only call it dis-ease if we're focused on health instead of on healing. So healing is like enlightenment. It is never ending. It's never ending. So many times I have clients come into sessions or ancestral healing sessions, and people say, I just want this done. Like, I've done all this work, and, I deserve the prize, which is I'm healthy and I'm healed. And the beautiful thing is, you've done all this work, which allows you to immediately, regularly, and very integrally return to that state of healing. Just like the Ascended Masters return to the state moment to moment of enlightenment, because they're so practiced. They're so good at it. So harmony is a frequency. Enlightenment is a frequency. And healing is a frequency that we practice. We practice. And they're very related, those three things. So this allows us to open up and not be so rigidly opposed to physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and psychological symptoms that are ongoing, where we go, oh no, I'm sick, I'm diseased, and I've got to get healthy again. How we can observe those symptoms as they're coming in is frequency upgrades. The body, mind, spirit, and psyche moving you through all the changes that you're going through back into a state of harmony, instead of seeing dis-ease or symptoms as a state of out of harmony. See it as a guiding force back to harmony. Reminding you, oh, right, okay, something's going on. It's scary. Our physical bodies, when they have symptoms, are really scary because our physical organism is trying to survive. And the symptoms that we experience, as I said before, can be very frightening. So, however, the more anxious we get and the more we get rigid and go, I have to get healthy, the more that, remember that tower rigidity that we saw around Ascension symptoms, it's that rigid place of there's something wrong with me and I've got to fix it. So let's see how Spirit wants to refer us, where and how Spirit wants to refer us into a deeper experience and understanding of the harmony of healing. Interesting. We have the Four of Swords, which is very much a card related to the pause, the rest, the intensive practice of healing. This is the kind of healing that you do when you have a healing crisis. So let's have a look here. Here's us. Wow. Those two cards, and you saw me shuffling. They're back again. Wow. Wow, so cool. Okay. I'm going to start in the middle here. This is where we are right at this moment. We are collectively the Three of Pentacles, which is establishing a new platform for growth. You know, I like to call it the entrepreneur card, but we are all entrepreneurs in how we are approaching our health. We are all working in new ways and collaborating on understanding how to build this kind of frequency, which I call healing or healthy frequency. So they're showing me a 3-part process, which is your input, the input from your outer experience, and then the combined frequency or feedback from spirit and the cosmos that allows you to adjust your input. So what they're showing me is, again, it's this constant, the Three of Pentacles, you are building something, which is healthy lifestyle, healthy practice, healing journey. You are building something that is always changing. It's always in flux. So you're only responsible for one part of that 3-part healing, healthy building, which is your input. I should say you're also responsible to tune in to the feedback that Spirit is giving you. So here's your input. Here's what is going on around you that stimulates change. And here's what your body, your psyche are showing you as a response from Spirit. Just want to make sure that everything's good here. Yeah, love it. Thank you, Lynn. I was noticing that my frequency of my internet seemed to be fluctuating a little bit, but it seems to be better now. Okay, so there's the 3-part process, and you're responsible for the input and the observation. It's sort of like a feedback loop. You're always going to be dealing with external inputs that you really don't have a lot of control over. So it's not like you can control everything. You can only control your input and your observation. And this is where we get into feeling victimized by our surroundings. You know, I'm in a toxic environment. I'm in a toxic environment. I'm in a toxic relationship, and this is creating dis-ease or disharmony. And what we're seeing here is that we are being asked to do the practices because we believe in them. We know that they are supporting the greater good of all. We know that they are supporting our experience of healthy process. And this is our work. This is our joy. This is our path. This is the Eight of Pentacles is we do these healthy practices because they feel great. And we don't worry so much about the instant result. We do this over the long haul, knowing that it is, again, that frequency of healing, healthy life, healthy practice. And it's not just about the reward of having this is what we know supports the path of healing and health. Thank you. Hot topic. And again, this is so personal, everyone. So personal. So what works for you may not work for someone else. What works for you right now may not is